Palantir stock has a potential 375% upside by 2030 if it can reach a price-to-sales ratio of around 36 while maintaining its annual growth rate of 16.75%. And this would translate to a share price of around 109 by 2030, which is much higher than it trades today at 22.96, and that's where we are getting that 375% upside calculation from. The revenue growth should be attainable given Palantir's latest quarter actually raised that yearly growth rate, so we can look forward to that number actually growing, is the current trend anyways. And the price-to-sales ratio of 36, yes, is extremely high, but it is definitely possible given that's actually Nvidia's valuation multiple right now. And the reason that I'm using Nvidia's price-to-sales ratio is because they're kind of the ones leading the AI hype right now, leading the forefront. They're the big name right now, and that's really the reason why I'm using it to calculate Palantir's potential upside, is because we're just calculating the best case scenario, which basically assumes that Palantir can perform in terms of growth due to more and more AI use cases. And how likely is it that we're going to see a price of sales of 36? Well, it's not extremely likely, but like I said, this video is made to give the highest potential upside for the stock by 2030. So, I'm trying to be somewhat realistic as well. And while it is incredibly high, so is the AI industry right now. And Palantir's price to sales actually was over 30 back in September 2021. So it's done it before. I don't see a reason why it can't do that in the future, especially with all this AI coming in, with so many use cases and so much potential growth. And if you look at the actual AI industry itself, the AI industry is growing at a rate of about 15.83% per annum. So that's right in line with Palantir's projected growth rate. So I would say that's incredibly realistic, if not a little bit conservative for the space, just given it's still very much in its infancy. Everything's still growing. It's not matured yet. So we might even see bigger growth rates than that. That's not a problem. Really, just the question is what kind of multiple we're going to see in 2030. But again, I'm giving the best case scenario right now. If I put 36, I think that makes a lot of sense for a best case scenario, especially when you take into account companies like Tesla, who have just insane price to sales ratios of over 150 right now. We've already seen that type of euphoria start to translate into the AI industry with these price to sales multiples being just crazy. Not quite the 150 territory, but it could get there. It certainly could get there. But I think the biggest risk for AI stock investors today is just the hype and investor sentiment and whether or not that's going to stay looking forward. But aside from the possibility of some type of heavy regulation being introduced, I think there's a pretty good chance that we're going to keep seeing these massive valuations in the AI industry, which is good news for Palantir shareholders. That said, I'm curious to hear people's thoughts around what kind of valuations we're going to see in the AI industry looking out to 2030. So post your comments below if you think there's something I've missed, if there's something that I haven't taken into account, and what kind of valuation multiples we might see at that time. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next video.